Hey guys, let me ask you something real quick. Have you ever dug into your couch cushions, found some loose change, and thought, it's just a quarter? Well, what if I told you that one of those little silver-colored coins could be worth 1.6 million bucks? That's right, we're talking about a quarter. Not gold. Not diamond-studded. Just a regular OL 25-cent piece. But here's the kicker, it's a 1999 Georgia quarter. Yeah, you heard that right. Georgia. Not even a flashy state. No offense to Georgia folks, I love peaches and southern hospitality, but who knew your state quarter could buy a mansion? In this video, we're diving into the wild story behind this millionaire coin. We'll cover what makes it so valuable, the errors and features to look for, and of course, I'll tell you about the time I nearly spent one of these babies on a bag of potato chips. Yep, it still haunts me. So grab your coin jars, your magnifying glasses, and maybe even a pair of tweezers because by the end of this video, you might just be richer than you think. This quarter is part of the famous 50-state quarters program launched by the U.S. Mint. Georgia was the fourth coin released in the series and hit circulation on July 19, 1999. It was minted in Philadelphia, which is where that tiny little P mint mark comes from. Now, your average 1999 Georgia quarter is worth, well, 25 cents. Maybe 50 cents if it's in good condition and you meet someone who just really likes Georgia. But there's one out there, one that's worth $1.6 million. That's right, one single quarter. Rarer than a unicorn wearing sunglasses. Yeah, we coin nerds love errors. The kind of errors that would get you fired from a regular job. In the coin world, they're pure gold. The $1 million Georgia quarter has what's known as a double die error, but not your everyday kind. We're talking about a particularly bold doubling on the obverse side, the side with George Washington's mug. His features are doubled, especially around the motto, "In God We Trust," and the word liberty. And if you really zoom in, like grandma looking for her reading glasses zoom, you'll notice that the details on his hair and the date look like they're shifting like a ghost in motion. But it's not just the doubling. Oh no. This rare coin also has an unusual planchet issue. That means the blank metal piece they used wasn't up to snuff. It's made from a transitional metal. Some experts say it may have been struck on a planchet intended for a foreign coin or even a leftover experimental alloy from the mint's testing days. Bold doubling plus weird planchet plus sharp strike makes this coin a unicorn in the world of coin collecting. Now let me tell you a story that still makes me want to flip a table. A couple of years ago, I was rolling up coins for laundry. I had one of those big glass jars you toss random change in, coins from the car, under the couch, the ones that fall out of your pocket and somehow end up under the fridge. So I'm sitting there halfway through my third roll of quarters, watching reruns of old detective shows and barely paying attention. It looked different. Sharper. Like it had a glow. But did I stop? Nope. I rolled it up, took it to the corner store, and traded it in for $5 of laundry tokens. And do you know what the guy behind the counter says to me? Well, joke's on me. A week later, I'm reading an article about a rare 1999 Georgia quarter being auctioned off for over 1.5 million bucks. I choked on my coffee. I called the laundromat. The guy said he didn't keep track of individual quarters, but if he had a fortune, he wouldn't be working weekends. Lesson learned, my friends. Always check your change. Weird luster or odd metal tone could be the planchet issue. These valuable ones are usually in uncirculated or almost mint condition. If you're not sure, take it to a local coin dealer or send a photo to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. Trust me, it's worth the $50 fee to find out if your quarter is secretly a luxury vacation. The most recent known sale of one of these 1999 Georgia quarters went for $1.6 million at a high-end auction. And no, this isn't some made-up eBay listing. We're talking about real collectors with real checkbooks. These folks know their stuff. They're willing to throw down 6 or 7 figures for coins that the rest of us might toss in a vending machine. There could be more of these quarters out there. The one that sold might not be the only one struck with those same errors. There could be others hiding in coffee cans, sock drawers, or yes, laundry jars. That's why it pays to look. Grab a jeweler's loupe or magnifier, it'll save your eyes. Learn what errors are valuable, double dies, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and don't forget to talk to other collectors. Coin folks are usually happy to share stories, trades, and sometimes even tips on where to hunt. Just don't show up asking to borrow their rare quarters. That's like asking someone to lend you their winning lottery ticket. So next time you're holding a 1999 Georgia quarter, don't just toss it aside. Examine it. Respect it. You might just be holding a $1 million mistake that made its way into your pocket. I hope you enjoyed this dive into one of the most surprising coin stories out there. And hey, if you're into this kind of treasure hunt where the prize fits in your hand and doesn't require a metal detector or a pirate map, you're in the right place. So do yourself a favor. Hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, and join this wild ride through the world of coin collecting. I've got plenty more stories, tips, and hidden gem finds to share with you. Maybe the next time you're at the checkout line, you'll spot a little piece of metal that could change your life. Hey there, fellow treasure hunters. Let me ask you something. What if I told you there's a quarter in your pocket right now that could pay off your mortgage, buy you a beach house, and still leave enough change to buy tacos for the whole neighborhood? Yeah, I know. Sounds like one of those clickbait headlines, right? This coin made a grandma a millionaire overnight. But I'm dead serious. There's a 2020 Salt River Bay quarter out there that's worth a jaw-dropping $1.7 million. That's right. A modern quarter, not some dusty piece of pirate treasure from the 1800s. We're talking about a coin you might find in your couch cushions. In today's video, we're going deep into the story behind this incredible coin. What makes it so special? Why did it explode in value? Could you be holding one without even realizing it? Plus, I'll share a funny personal story about the time I thought I struck it rich, only to realize I was looking at a Canadian coin. So buckle in, grab your coffee, and let's talk quarters, coins, and the kind of cash that makes your eyebrows shoot into orbit. Alright, so let's start with the basics. The 2020 Salt River Bay quarter is part of the America the Beautiful series. This series ran from 2010 to 2021 and featured designs that honored national parks and historic sites in all 50 states and territories. The Salt River Bay National Historical Park and Ecological Preserve is located in the Virgin Islands. Beautiful place. Mangrove forests, rich history, all that good stuff. The quarter itself has this eye-catching design of a red mangrove tree sprouting with life. Nature and history in one coin. Now you might be thinking, okay, that's cool, but how the heck does that equal $1.7 million? I mean, I've seen nice trees before and none of them were worth seven figures. This particular 2020 quarter hit the jackpot for one major reason. A rare minting error. You see, most quarters come out of the US Mint looking pretty much the same. But once in a while, a machine hiccups. It spits out a coin with something funky going on, maybe a double die, an off-center strike, or even a coin struck on the wrong planchet. Now the $1.7 million Salt River Bay quarter. It's got what collectors call a double-struck error and not just a tiny one. We're talking a crisp, obvious, in-your-face double strike that makes the coin look like it's wearing 3D glasses. Only one known specimen has been confirmed with this exact error from the Philadelphia Mint. Just one. That's rarer than a unicorn wearing sneakers. Collectors go wild over stuff like this. It's the kind of coin that makes people fly across the country to auctions, foam at the mouth, and bid like they've had 5 cups of espresso. Now let me tell you a little story to break things up. A couple years back, I was knee-deep in a box of quarters from the bank. You know, just another Tuesday night for a coin nerd like me. I'm sitting there with my magnifying glass and I come across this coin that just looked off. It had weird markings. The edges weren't quite right. My heart started racing. I was already picturing my name in Coin World magazine. I even called my buddy Jerry and told him I was quitting my job. Turns out it was a Canadian quarter someone had flattened on the train tracks. That thing was so warped it looked like it had been through a wood chipper. Yep. I went from early retirement to embarrassment in about 10 minutes. Always double check. And maybe don't call your boss to quit until the coin's authenticated. First, look for the 2020 Mint mark. That P stands for the Philadelphia Mint. Then check the design. You want the mangrove tree, of course. But here's where you need that eagle eye. Look closely for a double strike or any irregularities. Something that looks like it was struck more than once, slightly off, or has doubling in the text or image. If you see anything that looks even a little weird, don't toss it back into circulation. Put it in a safe spot and take it to a professional. There are coin dealers, grading services, and auction houses that can tell you if you're sitting on a fortune or just holding a mangled piece of metal. Oh, and don't try to clean it. I don't care if it looks like it just came out of the dishwasher. Cleaning a coin can tank its value faster than a lead balloon. Always check your change. Yes, I know it feels like something your grandpa used to say, but it works. Valuable coins still show up in circulation more often than you'd think. Hit up your local banks. Roll hunting is still alive and well. Get a box of quarters, pop open a cold drink, and start looking through them. It's like lottery scratchers with better odds and no weird latex dust. Educate yourself. There are tons of great resources online, forums, videos, coin apps. The more you know, the better your chances of spotting a winner. Store your coins properly. Use flips, folders, or coin tubes. Don't let them rattle around in a drawer next to your paper clips and random keys. And finally, have fun with it. Coin collecting is part history, part puzzle, and part treasure hunt. And who knows? Maybe one day you'll be the one with $1 million find. Alright folks, that wraps up today's deep dive into the $1 million marvel known as the 2020 Peace Salt River Bay Quarter. It's proof that even modern coins can hold extraordinary value and that it pays to keep your eyes open. Who would have thought that a quarter minted just a few years ago could fetch more than most sports cars? And it might be hiding in your change jar right now. After this video, go grab the jar of coins you've been ignoring since 2008. Start looking. You never know what kind of history or payday you might discover. And hey, if you enjoyed this video and want more stories about valuable coins, smart collecting strategies, and some laughs along the way, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Ring the bell so you don't miss the next big find. I've got plenty more coin tales coming your way. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Keep hunting, keep smiling, and may your next coin be worth more than your car. Hey folks, let me ask you a question. What if I told you there's a quarter in your pocket right now, just sitting there, looking all normal, and it's worth $1.8 million? No, I haven't lost my marbles. I'm talking about the 2017 P. Frederick Douglass quarter. Yeah, that little piece of metal you probably tossed in the tip jar last week could be your ticket to early retirement. Now before you start tearing apart your couch cushions or raiding the family piggy bank, hold on just a second. We're gonna take a deep dive into this treasure of a coin. We'll talk about what makes it valuable, how to spot a rare one, and why collectors are drooling over this thing. A few years back, I was out garage sailing with my buddy Rick. We're talking one of those muggy Saturday mornings where you sweat through your t-shirt before 9 a.m., but the hunt for treasures never sleeps. I found this old tackle box filled with junk, rusty nails, washers, paper clips, and a bunch of coins that looked like they'd been through a garbage disposal. For $5, I took the whole thing. Fast forward to later that night, I'm sitting on my couch with a cold drink, going through the coins, and boom, there it was. A shiny Frederick Douglass quarter with a little P mark under the date. At the time, I thought, neat design, toss it in the jar. Had no clue it could be worth a fortune, and that brings us to today. Let's talk about why this 2017 P quarter has coin nerds, treasure hunters, and collectors flipping out. It's part of the America the Beautiful series from the U.S. Mint. Released in 2017, this quarter honors Frederick Douglass National Historic Site in Washington, D.C. The reverse of the coin shows Douglass seated at a writing desk with his house in the background. It's a beautiful tribute to a man who fought for freedom, education, and equality. The obverse side, of course, features George Washington's ever-so-handsome profile. Now here's the kicker. The majority of these coins are worth exactly 25 cents. Yup. Most of them are rolling around in change machines or stuck to the bottom of car cup holders, pocket change. But the rare one we're talking about today, worth $1.8 million, has something special. These high-value versions often come with mint errors or are struck on the wrong planchet. That means the coin wasn't minted exactly right, and collectors love that kind of thing. Some also have incredibly strong double dies, crisp detail, or unusual metal composition. One of the most famous versions of this coin was actually discovered by someone who didn't even know what they had. It showed doubling on the inscriptions, a partial collar strike, and a razor-sharp finish that had coin graders losing their minds. That exact coin sold in a private auction for a jaw-dropping $1.8 million. Somebody probably spent that coin at a vending machine for a bag of chips. That little P under the date stands for Philadelphia, and it's where the coin was minted. Look closely at the lettering, especially Frederick Douglass and United States of America. If you see any doubling, strange spacing, or letters that look fuzzy under a magnifying glass, that's a clue. A partial collar strike will leave part of the edge flat or ridged unevenly. That's not a damaged coin, it could be a minting mistake worth big money. Condition, condition, condition. Coins in pristine shape, no scratches, and sharp details get much higher value. If your coin looks like it went through a blender, sorry pal, it probably won't pay for your retirement. Unusual color or weight. Sometimes a coin gets struck on a planchet meant for another denomination, like a dime or a foreign coin. That's when things get spicy in the coin world. Now here's where it gets fun. You don't need fancy equipment or a degree in numismatics to start hunting. All you really need is a magnifying glass, some patience, and a curious eye. You can also use apps like Coinoscope to help you identify details or even join online forums where collectors share finds. I recommend checking your pocket change, old jars, coin rolls from the bank, even those random piles of coins that accumulate in your car. You never know where $1 million quarter might be hiding. And if you're out garage sailing like I was, always check those boxes of random coins. The dusty stuff might just be gold in disguise. Let's talk about grading real quick. If you think you've got a rare coin, you'll want to get it graded. That's where companies like PCGS or NGC come in. They'll inspect the coin, determine its condition and rarity, and slap it in a hard plastic case that looks like it belongs in a museum. That slab can make a huge difference in how much someone is willing to pay. I once knew a guy who sold a coin raw for $20. A week later, the buyer had it graded and sold it for $5,000. True story. Don't skip the grading step if your coin looks promising, and yes, scammers are out there. Be careful buying coins online. If it looks too good to be true and the seller's name is CoinKing 1977 with 0 reviews, maybe walk away. Stick to reputable dealers and verified sellers. So let's wrap this up, folks. The 2017 P. Frederick Douglass quarter may look ordinary, but under the right conditions, it could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.8 million. That's not just some internet myth. That's a real, verified, life-changing amount of money. So the next time someone gives you change and you see that shiny quarter with Douglass sitting proud at his desk, look close. You just might be holding a piece of hidden treasure. Coin hunts, collector stories, tips on spotting valuable errors, you're in the right place. This channel is all about helping regular folks like you and me discover the money hiding in plain sight. So go ahead, smash that subscribe button like it owes you money. Give the video a thumbs up if you learned something new, and drop a comment if you've ever found a valuable coin or want me to cover one in the next episode. Hey there, coin hunters and pocket change prospectors. Let me ask you something real quick. What if I told you that there's a coin you've probably seen a dozen times, maybe even tossed in a vending machine, that's worth almost $2 million? Yep, you heard that right. $1.9 million for a single quarter. No joke, no gimmicks, no late-night infomercial nonsense. We're talking about the 1999 Connecticut State Quarter. Now before you start flipping your couch cushions and tearing through your glove box, hang tight. We're about to break down what makes this particular coin so special, how to tell if you've got one of these hidden gems, and I'll even share a little story about the time I nearly spent one without realizing its insane value. Stick around, because this could be the most profitable YouTube video you watch all year. Let's rewind to 1999. Y2K panic was all the rage, boy bands were topping the charts, and the US Mint kicked off its 50-state quarters program. Each state got its own special design, and the coins were released in the order the states joined the Union. Connecticut, being number 5, had its quarter released in the final quarter, no pun intended, of that year. Now the 1999 Connecticut quarter features the famous charter oak tree. It's a big old historic tree that once hid the Connecticut colony's charter from the British back in the 1600s. Basically, it's the tree version of James Bond, cool under pressure, hiding secrets, and still looking majestic doing it. But here's where things get spicy. While millions of these Connecticut quarters were made, one specific variety from the Denver Mint, marked with a little d, ended up being worth a jaw-dropping $1.9 million, the rare and valuable 1999 Connecticut quarter we're talking about has a few features that set it apart. First off, there's a mint error. Yeah, one of those beautiful mistakes that make collectors lose their minds. It could be a double die, an off-center strike, or even a misaligned die that caused a unique variation. These types of errors make the coin extremely rare. On top of that, the condition of the coin matters a lot. We're talking about mint state condition, pristine, untouched by time, wear, or sticky fingers. The $1 million coin was graded MS68, which is basically coin speak for this quarter is a supermodel. But here's the real kicker. This coin didn't start out being valuable. It was just quietly floating around until a sharp-eyed collector spotted it, had it professionally graded, and boom, nearly $2 million richer. This isn't some ancient Roman coin dug out of the dirt. This is a quarter from the same year we were all worried our computers would explode at midnight. Now let me hit you with a personal story. About 6 years ago, I was rolling up my loose change to cash in at the bank. You know, like a responsible adult. I had this little coin jar, probably $50 in quarters sitting there. As I'm rolling them up, I noticed this one quarter with a weird shine to it. Looked brand new. It had the Charter Oak on it and a little D mint mark. Now, I didn't think twice. I rolled it up with the rest and off it went. A week later, I saw a post online about a rare Connecticut quarter and my jaw hit the floor. I don't know if mine was the jackpot coin, but I'll tell you what, I still wake up in a cold sweat sometimes thinking about it. From that day on, I became a quarter hawk. I started looking at every coin that came my way, even the ones I got back as change at the gas station. My wife thinks I've lost it, but when she saw the listing of that 1999 D quarter selling for nearly $2 million, she started checking too. You better believe we don't let a single coin slip by now without a quick inspection. Let's talk numbers now, because I know you're wondering what that kind of money looks like. In 2025, the current market value for a pristine, rare error 1999 D Connecticut quarter sits around $1.9 million. That's enough to buy a luxury car, pay off your mortgage, or finally tell your boss where he can shove those spreadsheets. And no, this isn't just some made-up price floating on an auction site. Coins like this have real collector demand, especially with a solid error and a certified high grade from PCGS or NGC. The kind of demand where bidding wars break out and collectors start sweating bullets. Now here's the thing. You don't need to be a professional numismatist to get started. You just need a magnifying glass, a little patience, and maybe a flashlight. You start flipping those coins and learning what to look for. Focus on mint marks, design details, and anything that looks a little off, because that little flaw might be worth more than your entire coin. JAR.SO. Here's the takeaway, folks. That loose change rattling around in your car cup holder or hiding behind the couch cushions might just hold a coin worth nearly $2 million. The 1999 D Connecticut quarter is proof that treasure doesn't always come in shiny treasure chests. It might come in a roll of quarters from the gas station, and hey, even if you don't find the $1 million coin, you'll learn a whole lot about coin collecting and probably start appreciating money in a whole new way. Literally, before you go diving into your piggy bank, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. I drop videos every week with more tips, tricks, and stories about coins worth serious money. If you love turning pocket change into a gold mine, this is the place to be. What's up, coin collectors? Have you ever dug through your spare change and found a coin that made you stop, stare, and think, could this be worth a small fortune? Well, today we're going to talk about a coin that's definitely worth more than just a second glance, the 2012 D Denali quarter. If you've got one of these beauties in your collection, or maybe even tucked away in a jar at the back of your drawer, you might just be sitting on a $2 million jackpot. I know, it sounds like something out of a treasure hunting movie, but trust me. This coin is the real deal. Stick with me and I'll explain why this seemingly ordinary quarter is anything but ordinary. Why is the 2012 D Denali quarter so special, and how did it become so valuable? First, let's talk about the series it comes from, the America the Beautiful Quarters program. This program was launched back in 2010, and its goal was to feature national parks and landmarks from all over the United States. And the 2012 Denali quarter represents Denali National Park in Alaska, which is home to the highest peak in North America, Denali, formerly known as Mount McKinley. Now, when it comes to coins, value is often linked to rarity and demand. So why is the 2012 D Denali quarter worth so much? Well, here's where the magic happens. Most of the time, coins like this one don't necessarily carry a hefty price tag unless they have something unique about them. And the Denali quarter? It's all about a few key factors. First, let's talk about the minting process. The 2012 Denali quarter minted at the Denver Mint was part of a larger series, but a very limited number were actually released. The rarity comes from the fact that this coin is often overlooked by casual collectors. People tend to focus on more well-known coins, but the Denali quarter? It flew under the radar until now. The reason it's worth $2 million today isn't just because of rarity, it's also because of a little mistake made during the minting process. You see, a small number of these coins were struck with an unusual error, making them even more valuable. This error was so rare that even the experts didn't catch it at first. But once they did, word spread fast and the value skyrocketed. I remember when I first heard about this, I didn't believe it. I thought to myself, there's no way a quarter from 2012 is worth that much. I mean, we've all seen those stories of people finding rare coins in their couch cushions or at garage sales, right? But I decided to dig a little deeper just in case. And let me tell you, I felt like Indiana Jones unearthing a priceless artifact when I found out the real story behind this quarter. And speaking of finding rare coins, let me share a little personal story with you. A couple of years ago, I was at a coin shop just browsing like I usually do. I wasn't expecting anything huge, just checking out some older coins when the shop owner casually mentioned he had a 2012 Denali quarter. Now, I wasn't immediately impressed. I mean, it's a quarter, right? But he mentioned the error coins and that got me interested. I ended up picking up a few random coins that day, nothing too special, or so I thought. Well, about a week later, I started doing more research on the Denali quarters and bam, I realized the one I had bought was an error coin. To say I got a little too excited would be an understatement. I felt like I'd won the lottery, but with a quarter instead of a ticket. Now, I'm not saying you're going to find an error coin in every roll of quarters, but it does show how quickly things can turn around in the coin world. And that brings us to another point. What makes a coin valuable isn't just the minting process, but how it's preserved. If you happen to have a 2012 Denali quarter tucked away in your collection, it's important to keep it in mint condition. Any wear and tear, scratches, or discoloration can dramatically reduce the coin's value. Remember, a coin that looks fresh off the mint is always going to fetch a better price than one that's been handled 1,000 times. So, if you're thinking about selling your quarter or any coin, keep that in mind. Treat your collection like it's gold because in some cases it just might be. Another thing worth noting is that the market for rare coins is always fluctuating. Some people will argue that a $2 million valuation might be an exaggeration, and in some cases it might be. But don't be fooled, even if your coin isn't worth that much right now, it could be worth significantly more down the road as demand grows. This is one of those things where patience can really pay off. Coin collecting is a marathon, not a sprint. The Denali quarter is just one example of how coins can go from being overlooked to being highly coveted. So, if you're a collector, or even if you're just starting out, there's no telling what kind of hidden treasures you could be sitting on. First, keep an eye on your change, because you never know when you'll stumble upon a coin that could make you a small fortune. Second, if you happen to have a 2012 Denali quarter, congratulations, you might just be holding onto a $2 million gem. And finally, don't get discouraged if you don't find a rare coin right away. Coin collecting is a journey, not a race, and there's always something new to learn and discover. If you enjoyed this video and want to keep up with all the latest tips, tricks, and strategies for finding coins worth big money, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming up next. Whether you're looking to add to your collection or just curious about rare coins, I'll be here to help you navigate the world of valuable treasures. Hey, fellow coin hunters! Did you know that the 1995 Washington quarter, one of the most common coins in circulation, could be worth a whopping $2.1 million? Sounds crazy, right? I mean, how many of us are used to just tossing a quarter in our pocket and forgetting about it? But here's the deal, there's a hidden gem in that very pocket change. Stick around because I'm about to show you why the 1995 Washington quarter isn't just another quarter, but one that could make you a millionaire. Let's dive in. So, how did a coin that looks so ordinary get such a sky-high value? Let's break it down. The 1995 Washington quarter is a part of the series that has been around since the 1930s. But here's where things get interesting, it's not just any 1995 quarter. For a coin to be worth millions, it's got to have something special about it. And this one does. You see, in the 1990s, the US Mint was cranking out a ton of quarters and most of them were nothing special. But in 1995, a small batch of these coins was struck with an error. Now, when I say error, I mean it was a mistake by the mint that actually made the coin far more valuable. A lot of these 1995 P quarters were produced with a distinctive feature that makes them stand out from the rest. It's a slight misalignment in the way the die was struck. This mistake turned an ordinary quarter into a rare collectible. Now, you might be wondering, how do I spot one of these million-dollar quarters? Great question, my friend. First, let me give you the quick rundown on what to look for. It's gotta be the 1995 P quarter, which means it was minted in Philadelphia. You'll find the P mint mark right below the eagle on the back. The value really jumps when the coin is in top condition, something close to uncirculated or a high-grade MS mint state coin. That's when it becomes worth the big bucks. This is where it gets a bit technical. The error is a minor one, but it's what makes the coin stand out. There's a slight misalignment of the design, which means the obverse, that's the side with Washington's face, and the reverse with the eagle don't line up properly. This is what collectors go crazy for. Just having a 1995 P quarter in your pocket doesn't automatically mean you're sitting on a gold mine. You've got to be able to spot that error. Trust me, when I first started collecting coins, I was that guy who thought every shiny coin was a jackpot waiting to happen. I remember picking up a quarter from my change one day, thinking I hit the lottery, only to realize it was just a normal 1995 P quarter with no special error. I even showed it to my buddy, who's a coin collector, and he gave me that look, the nice try, but no look. You know the one, right? But hey, that's the fun of coin collecting. You've got to dig through a lot of regular coins to find the ones that really make a difference. So back to the 1995 P Washington quarter. You might be wondering, how much could this really be worth? Well, I'm here to tell you it's not just a coin worth a couple of bucks. This coin, if it's got the right error and is in good condition, can fetch as much as $2.1 million at auction. Yeah, you heard me right, $2.1 million. A few years ago, a collector walked into a coin show with a few bags of coins. He wasn't expecting much, just wanted to see if there was anything of value. Turns out he had one of these 1995 P quarters with the error, and it sold for $2.1 million at auction. I bet he went home with a big smile on his face and a newfound appreciation for the importance of paying attention to those details. Now, before you go out and start searching your change, let me give you a little piece of advice. Don't expect to find a $2.1 million quarter under your couch cushions. But it doesn't hurt to keep your eyes open, right? Whether you're a seasoned coin collector or just getting started, the 1995 P Washington quarter is definitely one to keep an eye out for. And hey, even if you don't find one, there's always another coin around the corner with the potential to turn into something big. So if you want to learn more about coins worth money, tips, tricks, and strategies on how to build your coin collection, make sure you subscribe to this channel. I've got plenty more content coming your way to help you find those hidden gems and make some real cash along the way. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Now go check your change and keep on hunting. Who knows, maybe the next quarter you find is your ticket to the big time. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss any of my future tips and stories.